We've all been in the Starbucks line paralyzed with ordering a drink. Even with 87,000 combinations, sometimes we can't pick anything. And while the small problem seems like it's only angering your local barista, it's also an example of a major neurological issue in our world called choice paralysis. Choice paralysis is having so many options, you choose none of them. Now there's no argument that having choices has made our lives better. It's given us autonomy. It's let us find out our own purpose. However, when we are given too many choices, 87,000 of them, it's difficult to just choose one, making unlimited options seem actually pointless. So first, let's talk about what choice paralysis is. As defined by Brain Minds, this term is a state of overanalyzing a situation so that a decision or action is never taken, in effect of paralyzing the outcome. It can be found through choosing a movie on Netflix, finding a product at Costco, or ordering, let's be honest, anything from Amazon. So if you could just pay attention right here, this is currently my Amazon screen. And you can just see that there is just endless amount of things you can buy and ways to spend your money. Personally, you cannot choose how you can spend your money on here because there's just so many things leading to never ending choices that you'll never make. Let's say you have $20 to spend on a gift card for Amazon. You cannot decide what to spend it on because there's just so many things. I want new headlights for my truck and I also want new taillights, but I can never decide. And that's the problem that this is facing us today. But Psychology Today says that the root of all of this is anxiety, and it comes from compulsively weighing on endless amount of variables while picturing downsides to all of them. Stop sharing real quick. And in the end, it is impossible to identify the best option from the rest. So what happens inside of our minds when we do freeze up? In 2010, LexisNexis conducted a survey that showed that on average, employees spent more than half of their workdays managing information rather than using it to do their jobs. This management of information is parallel to what's going on in your brain during choice paralysis. When all of our options are laid out in front of you, the brain is trying to list them from most to least important according to the benefits that they provide to you, usually throwing out the irrelevant information. However, one of the most important things that we don't realize we do focus on is the time frame that you have to make your choice. Present time, as in here, then, and now, takes complete precedence over any decision that would affect you in the future. Delia Institute explains that this outcome, as the outcome set in the distant future, typically lack a contrast with everyday needs, makes it easy to defer decision, making it to a tomorrow that never arrives. So if we do eventually make a choice, it doesn't usually take into account any long-term needs. Instead, we felt it was necessary in time situations. The majority of the time, though, the indecisiveness isn't from choosing what you want, it's from being scared from what you don't pick. According to an article from New Statesman, recent psychological research indicates that consumers that search unexhaustedly for the best option of the market product known as maximizers eventually feel worse than the consumers who just took something good enough called satisfiers. It's been proven that more is not always better, and limiting our choices can help significantly when making a decision. We need to find ways to limit our choices and gain control over choice paralysis. I read up on Psychology Today to find 3 key strategies in order to avoid this ongoing cycle. The first is to decide the important problem is. If you find yourself overthinking a problem, you need to learn to prioritize. Often we stress out about problems to the point to where we forget what the main goal is. We need to focus on picking the most beneficial decision. Next, we need to be alert to the perfectionism where we're weighing every word, thinking about each effect. It often means that we're trying to perfect every detail. There is no recipe for success in every scenario. Often things take trial and error, and it's only through finally making a decision that you will begin the process to find your answer for you. Lastly, you need to rely on your gut reactions. According to Harvard Business Review, the decision that we make in the first second is more often not the one we're going to end up with. After all, once we begin to trust ourselves, we'll trust our own guts. We'll start to make decisions. All of these strategies have one thing in common. They'll help us limit our choices. Obama said in himself in 2014 article by Abstract and Applied Analysis, I'm trying to pare down decisions, and I don't want to make decisions about what I'm eating or what I'm wearing. So instead of going to Costco and writing snacks down on the list, write chocolate chip cookies. By limiting our choices, we'll lower the stress that comes from the choice between them. Choice paralysis can happen with any two or more decisions, and it can happen quickly. We need to be proactive and work against this neurological process that occurs. We are told our whole life that creativity is endless when the possibilities are endless. But sometimes it's better to limit our choices and think outside the box or think inside the box.